This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and I received an interesting challenge from the folks at the Donut Media YouTube channel. You see, they published a video testing car wheel locks ranging in value from $15 all the way up to $450. And as you might expect from a resourceful group of guys with lots of tools, they handily defeated all the locks. I'll leave a link to their video in the description below. Now, I come into the picture because the most expensive of the locks they tested, this model from a company called RimGuard, advertises a high level of pick resistance. So the Donut Media folks wanted to put that to the test. It does bear note though that Donut Media was able to pry this off in about 65 seconds. So that's probably the more serious threat. As for picking, I know there's a grand tradition among lockmakers for overstating pick resistance, but here I don't think that's the case. The core in these is something called an ASA Desmo. I'm very familiar with these. I see them on slot machines in Vegas, on museum showcases, and a lot of other places where security does matter. In fact, I featured this core a long time ago in videos 141 and 314. So, without further introduction, we're going to get to picking. One note is that I do know this picks counterclockwise. I probably would have started out picking clockwise, but since I did have the key and did open these, I now know they pick the opposite direction of what I would expect. So, in the wild, I probably would have wasted a few minutes trying to pick it the other direction. So there are 6 sliders in here, 3 on each side. I just lifted all the ones on the right. They seem pretty loose, so we're going to move over to the ones on the left. And I'm just inserting my pick, and there we go. That first one was a little tight, and it's still tight. Let's pick that, lift it one more spot. There we go. We've got a little bit of motion on it now. Let's move on to the next one. There we go. I just lifted it up a little bit and I felt a click, and it's got a tiny bit of movement, so let's leave it where it is for now. The next one's binding pretty tightly. Feels like it's in a gate, but most likely a false gate. And we have it up to the next slot, and I feel like it's moving now, so let's leave him alone. Let's move on to the right side. That first one is completely loose. The next one, it's binding a little bit, but not enough to actually pick, so I suspect we need to move on to the last one, and yes, that one is binding. Got a little click out of him, and it's not binding anymore, so let's leave it alone. Back to that first one, it's still moving up and down pretty easily, so let's leave it alone. The next one, is giving me some trouble trying to get on top of it, but it's definitely binding. There we go, nice little click, and I don't know if you could see the movement on that core. That probably leaves us with just the first one, which is binding very tightly. And I have to release a lot of tension on it. It moved up to another gate, and no, that's still a false gate, so let's lift it some more. I think I passed the gate. I moved it too far. There we go. We got this open. As you can see, that does take a fair bit of skill to open. It's not something I would expect anyone but a very experienced lockpicker to open, and it would probably be considerably harder if it was secured down low on a car. Either way, I'd be much more concerned about the pry and attack demoed by Donut Media. In any case, that's all I have for you today. If you do have any questions or comments about this, please put them below. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day. Thank you.